Hello, it's Lauren, and in today's video I will be showing you how I created this Slimline card using the brand new Cracking Christmas 6x6 stamp set. So jumping in, I started out by stamping the 5 included Nutcracker images onto some Nina Solar White cardstock, and I cut it to a regular Slimline size. And then I stamped it, I lined up all my nutcrackers along that one, that bottom line there, that red line across my stamping platform. And you can see here, when I took it off, I got one of the music notes got attached to this little guy. So here I am just lining all their feet up along on that line. And I wanted... You'll see me change the order a little bit because I wanted the drummer in the center, and then I noticed I had the 2 on the left are holding something, so I wanted them to be on the side of the drummer and then have the nutcrackers that have their arms at their sides on the end. So I am just eyeballing it to get them where I want them. And then I will stamp that in black ink onto my Slimline panel here. And then off camera, I will color them up using my colored pencils. And here I don't normally have my Misty positioned this way, so you will see me struggle to ink up and transfer the ink onto that cardstock, just because I'm doing it in an awkward position, and I'm doing it this way so that it's better for you to see it. But normally I have my Misty positioned like a book, so it opens and closes like a book rather than top down. Okay, and then you'll see me here off camera. I will have it all colored up, and I just use different shades of greens, yellows, which kind of like a gold, and blacks and reds. And then I want to create a frame, and I want the frame to have a little bit of height to it, so I use a Slimline die from my stash that creates frames, and I cut it out using black cardstock, and then I glue them together using my liquid glue, and this will give them a little bit of give the frame a little bit of height. And then you'll see me glue it onto the back here, and then I just kind of line it up. And again, this is a regular Slimline size card. So this frame, I will adhere it onto that Nutcracker panel I created, but it is larger than my frame, so I will mark it using a pencil. Oh, and here I am just figuring out where I will put my sentiment and what sentiment I'm going to use. That will determine how high I have the frame. And then once I've decided in my head, you'll see me mark the paper, and then I'll take that to my trimmer and trim it down so that I will not have any white showing beyond my frame, my black frame. And then I use some liquid glue to adhere my frame on. And with this glue, it dries very quickly, so you'll see I have to, I think I have to add a little more to it again once I get it all applied. And I think part of it dries too fast. Yeah. Oh, here I am, trying to quickly add some more. And these nutcrackers are just so cute, and I love how they all will fit on a Slimline card. And you can use them, you know, any way you like. You can have just one as a focal, or as many or as few as you want. And then I will put my sentiment, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, in my Misty and line it up and put in some black cardstock. Now I'm going to heat set some embossing powder, so you'll see me change it. I'm decided to put it at the top, that way it'll be easier when I go to trim it down. So I line it up, and then what I do is I use some embossing powder, my embossing powder tool, to prepare my paper for the embossing ink and the embossing powder. And what this does is just leaves a little bit of a film on your paper, so that the embossing powder won't adhere where you don't want it to adhere. And then I use an embossing ink to stamp that sentiment out, and then you'll see I add some white embossing powder to that ink, which is sticky and it holds that embossing powder. And then you'll see how this I don't have any excess white stray powder anywhere on the black. That's what I love about the embossing powder tools. And then I'll just heat set that using my heat gun. And I like to do it from behind because I find that I get a smoother look to the embossing powder when it melts. And there we go. So then I trim that down, and I will place that on the bottom across the legs in the center. Yeah, you'll see I'm trying to figure it out, and that is the place that I find is the most appealing. So I use my liquid glue and I just adhere that down. And then I will grab the stamp set again, because included in that stamp set are a few different music notes. So I want to add some of those music notes along the white areas of the stamp, and you'll see I'm trying to figure out the placement of those. I'm not quite sure. I'm not a music person, so I'm not quite sure, you know, how these will look, what's the best way to do them and have them placed. So I call in my expert, and my son, who is 12. He's not an expert, but he a lot of times I will use him as a second opinion, because he has a great eye for all things art related. So you'll see him come in the corner there as I'm figuring out where to place these notes. And I pull out my Misty again to use that to stamp and hold my notes as I am stamping them, so that it ensures a nice crisp black image. And you'll see a little arm come in here in a second. There we go. And you'll see now I have my Misty placed. This is my position of choice for using my Misty, so I have it so that it opens and closes like a book. And I just find that's the easiest. But when I am trying to record a video, it's not the best position because it doesn't show up in the video as easily. It's too long. And when I'm using my Misty to stamp out these notes or to stamp out a sentiment, I like to put some ink on it and then re-ink and stamp, re-ink and stamp, so that I'm not pressing too hard, because sometimes when you press too hard on your clear stamps, they can squish a little bit, and that creates a kind of a fatter image or a fatter letter. So this allows for, you know, a nice crisp, you know, image or sentiment when you re-ink it and you don't push too hard. So I just add layers of black ink to get the desired look. And now that I have my music notes on there, I will adhere that panel onto a Slimline card base using my ever so trusty liquid glue. And then that will complete my card. And you can add your own sentiment in. I like to leave them blank so that I can write on the inside to my recipient. Whoever I'm going to send it to, I'll write a little thing, or I will put in there Merry Christmas. So thanks for visiting, and I hope you are enjoying this stamp set and the whole release. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back for more awesome videos. Thank you.